Oh, the noose is tightening. Oh, it's going bad. This was a bridge episode leading up to the absolute final finale. This is the penultimate, and oh man, this is the burn episode. This is the one that is like the simmer is starting to bubble, and we're about to explode onto the page with whatever's coming in episode 12. So, this is episode 11. I don't do spoiler free. You've had the only warning you're going to get. So without further ado, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you have had your only warning. So we start this episode off with Dedra being interrogated by none other than Krennic himself. And this scene is really intense because she has no clue that Lonnie had stolen her key and had read the files. And not only that, but basically all of the files that she's been collecting over the past 2 years on the Death Star project, she was doing off the table, under the table, um, not reporting anything to her superiors because she was looking for proof of access. Unfortunately for her, in critics' eyes, you've been stealing and spying on my project for the past 2 years, and you just got caught in the middle of this operation where this rebel agent got a hold of your files, and his spy read your files for 3 hours, and who knows who they told or where that information went, and you look like a rebel spy to me because you did all this stuff that you weren't supposed to be doing. And she's like, but that was the only way that I was able to find Luthen in the first place was, because he accuses her of being a scavenger, right? And she's like, yes, I'm a scavenger because that was the only way I could find the clues that I needed to track down Luthen. And look, I found him. That's proof that I'm not a rebel spy. But yeah, Krennic's not having any of it. He's just pissed because information about this Death Star is now out there. And he's knowing what we know from Rogue One. He's scared for his life because of Darth Vader and the Emperor. But also, he's an extremely ambitious man. Um, but yeah, I don't think Daedra's getting out of that cell. I don't know if they're gonna have a follow up in episode 12 or not. But as of this moment, like when Krennic leaves her, he just like grabs her face and like pushes her back down in the chair and leaves. It's like I don't think that Daedra's getting out. Um, so yeah, um, Krennic is pissed. So he then goes to Partagas and the other guy. I'm gonna go look up his name really quick. Hurt, I think is his name. Hurt, who is the skinny guy who is sort of Daedra's superior, and he's basically been assigned to track down Clea. And Krennic basically tells him, "I don't care about anything other than finding her. You will do everything in your power. Otherwise, you're going to join the death list and you'll be assassinated. You'll be killed. You'll be executed. So you need to do whatever it takes." And so they decide to issue this public health concern about her arrest and spread her information far and wide so that they can track her down. Now, in the midst of all this, Clea is back at the safe house and she's sending out codes and trying to reach anyone. So we see her back at the safe house and she digs this really old signal communication box out of the wall and puts it all together and starts sending out these like Morse code essentially. And the guy who was working with Saw Gerrera, the kid who huffed the gas, I forget his name, but he's one of Andor's buddies, is with his girlfriend back on Yavin, and the box starts beeping, and he's like, "Oh my god!" And so he rushes that off to talk to Andor. What's really interesting here is Andor is in the middle of Cassian and K2 are in the middle of a dominoes game essentially, and I love how we're already getting the humor from K2, where as they're playing this card game or this dice cards whatever dominoes game, he's like they're mocking him as he's trying to learn, and he's talking about how we've played 800 and so hands. There's no way that you would make a bet like that. It's outside of the parameters of, and it's just really, it's great. But also, to hear him coming back as K2 is just a treat. Um, it's a treat to have Alan Tudyk back. Anything he does is great. I'm really happy they got him back to do this. Anyway, he busts in. Cassian realizes what the signal in because it's Luthen's signal, and he's like, "We got to get out of here." And they basically leave Yavin 4 without any permission. And as they're like leaving, they're being yelled at over the comms, like, "This is, unauthorized." And K2's like, "We've broken 17 laws at this point." And Andor's like, Shut the radio off so you don't have to listen to him anymore." And he's like, as he shuts it off, he's like, "That's number 18." And then they blast off, and they're off to um, Coruscant to try to rescue Luthen. They don't know that Luthen's dead yet. Now, in the midst of all of this, Hirt, I think is his name, um, they he goes down to Daedra's cell and he's like, "You need to help me. Maybe it'll get you out of this spot. Otherwise, you're not leaving this cell." And quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Anything you could think of to help me track down this spy, this girl who was working with Luthen. And she says, "Well, maybe what about that radio we found on Ferrix? Maybe look for old pulse codes." So that sets him on the path of doing this, and they do track down this signal, and that allows them to hone in on um, where Clea's at. At the same time, Andor is arriving, and this is that simmering of everything going up because as so Cassian and I think his name is Melshi land, and they leave K2 in the ship, and they go off to get Luthen, who they think it's Luthen, right? Only when they arrive, it's her, and they realize that Luthen is dead. Now, while this is going on, um, the Imperials have triangulated their location, and they are sending a squad up with the supervisor here, and this is where we get the fade to black of like the stormtroopers marching down the hall because they're about to bust down the door. And what tripped me out was I was trying really hard to figure out where have I seen the lead stormtrooper, the bald guy with the stormtrooper? Isn't he? And I have not looked this up to confirm it, but I could swear that's the guy who was in the guild with Felicia Day back in the day. He was one of the main characters in the guild YouTube show back in the day. And if that's him, I think that's really cool for him to have gotten this role in this show as like a stormtrooper boss. Um, I don't know if that's actually him or not. I'm gonna have to go look this up. Matter of fact, let's look it up right now. Guild cast. No, it's not. I don't know who I'm thinking of. Um, I'm looking at faces. I don't think it is. I was thinking of somebody else. I know I've seen this guy somewhere, and I can't think of who it is. Um, I would have to look up the cast. I've recognized him from somewhere though, the bald stormtrooper, and I could swear it's like some super nerdy show I've seen before, and it's gonna drive me nuts until I can figure it out. So I'm gonna have to go research that before we watch the next episode. Then when I come back for episode 12, I'll let you guys know what I find because it's gonna drive me nuts until I figure that out. Anyway, oh my God, you know that episode 12 is gonna start off with a firefight. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, in the midst of all of this, K2 realizes that there's been a comms blackout, and he starts to go down, and he's going to go rescue Cassian, right? But as he's walking down, like the imps see him coming, and they're like, "Did we order a support droid?" And they like ask him, "Are you with us?" And he just goes, "No," and like yeets one of them off the bridge, and then it's just that's K2 is an awesome character. I can't wait for the next episode. Even though I know it's gonna be the last, it's gonna lead us into Rogue One. I'm super excited. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Stay tuned for more. Like, subscribe. I already said that. Watch the other episodes. I'm excited. I gotta go watch the other one, guys.